Hey everybody, Rachel here. Hiya, hope you're all well. Right, I'm going to open the kiln. Bit different today. It's a bisque firing, not a glaze firing. So it's going to be sort of slightly different partway through the process. And show you some shapes and stuff before it's all waiting to be glazed. So kiln's on about 65, which with bisque you can open the kiln a bit earlier than with glaze because the heat work doesn't affect the pottery as much because it's got no glaze on it, and you don't get that cracking if it heats. It cools down too quickly. So yeah, so there's not much colour. Everything's going to be, there we go, hello. Everything's going to be pretty bland, but it just shows you the part way through the process. So each piece gets two firings, the bisque firing and the glaze firing. The bisque firing is a cooler temperature than the glaze. It's only 1,000 degrees. And what that does to the clay, it vitrifies the clay, keeps it porous, which is important because the glaze will then soak into the body of the clay. Yeah, so it's a part way through the process. So 1,000 degrees. It turns a piece of greenware, which obviously because it's greenware, it's not physically green, but it just means that nothing's happened to it yet. So it's just clay that's been formed on the pottery wheel and dried. So greenware looks like this. So that's just dry clay. It's very fragile still. That will break very easily if I was to knock it or bump it. So it's this grey colour, whereas bisqueware looks like this. So you can see the difference. Yeah, so this is still nice and warm. But what that's done, it's not vitrified the clay completely so that it's watertight yet. So if you pop water in there, it would seep through the clay eventually. But then the hotter temperature that you glaze fire everything to then vitrifies the clay, so it turns it into stoneware. Okay, and then the glaze is just decorative on the outside. So there's the two differences. So that hasn't been glazed, that hasn't been fired, and that's gone to 1,000 degrees. And then stick it up to 1280 degrees, you get your final piece. Have I got anything here? Yep. So the final piece then, 1280 degrees, turns it into that. So yeah, that's the 3 stages. All right, so everything in the kiln today is bisqueware, which means that I've got probably a day or two of glazing frenzy to do next week. So this is a little pot that Alistair made. He made 3 of these. He's got a garden sculpture and he's going to put 3 pots in his garden for water for the birds and things. So that's one of the 3 that he made. This is one of my chip and dip bowls. Oh, no, it's not. Sorry, it's an olive dish. So the toothpicks go in the middle, the olives go around the outside, and then inside here is the stones from the olives once you've eaten them. So yeah, they're very popular. That's one of mine. Jane made a plate. So everything is going to be this colour, so it's not very exciting as far as colours are concerned. Another couple of olive dishes. And a ramen bowl. I think Jordan, yeah, this is one of Jordan's, one of my students. So we've got the 2 holes for the chopsticks. Nice ramen bowl. There's 3 of those, I think. Kaz made a bowl in her class. There's another little one for Alistair to go in his garden sculpture. And Nicole made a mug. I made some mugs this week that, or last week, that look like, hopefully they will look like baked bean tins. So they've got some ribbon down the centre. There's a few of those, 6 I think I made. There's another one. Lovely. And, oops. Oh yeah, Jordan made she's going to put a pump in that. So soap dispenser type thing, or you can put a, can't even remember what it's called now. A pourer for olive oil, that type of thing. Yeah, or soaps or stuff like that. So there's a couple of those. That's another one for Jordan. And the 3rd one for Jordan. Let's move some of this out of the way so it doesn't break it. This greenware is really, really fragile. This is a colander. This is greenware, so it hasn't been fired. So that's really fragile. I've got a couple of orders for these. I do berry bowls, so they're sort of half size. They're something like that size. And this one, you can see the difference. There you go. So this is a proper size colander, whereas a berry bowl would be just £1.50. So pop that somewhere safe. And there is one big colander that's been fired. Nice. No cracks or anything. Sometimes it still cracks when it gets fired, but this is nice and safely done. Lovely. That one's already sold. There's a nice big bowl for me. And another one of Jordan's ramens. And a fruit bowl. Did some big stuff this week, which was lovely. Or last week. Nice big fruit bowl. There. Another couple of mugs for Nicole. And another couple of my baked bean tin mugs. Another student one, that's another one for Alistair. Another baked bean tin mug. No cracks, that's good. Oh, that's got a tiny, no, it's not gone all the way through, so you can see a little tiny crack there. It's not gone all the way through, but it is a second, it will be. I will glaze it and put it in my own cupboard. And lastly on this shelf is a two-handled mug. This is for my dad. So my dad said, can I have a two-handled mug? I said, what do you want that for? He said, well, when your mum gives me a cup of tea, I have to take it and burn my hands. So he's got a two-handled mug so she can hand him his tea and he won't burn his hands, which is really good, isn't it? Lovely. Looks like the FA Cup, doesn't it? Something like that. Right, that's shelf number 1. And I'm not going to get those shelves off without some gloves on. I know I've got a couple of, half a dozen big vases down at the bottom of this week, which I'm excited to see. I decided I'd throw a bit of bigger stuff because, yes, they are down there. So, another couple of plates for Roseanne. And that one's Jane. Beautiful. Well done, girls. Another bowl for Kaz. Louise. So they're all pretty boring when they're this colour. Another one of that's the third one for Alistair that's going to go in his little garden water feature. A spoon rest for Jane. Another little low dish for Sarah. Beautiful. Another little low dish for Heather. Oh, Heather, she did so well. Heather again. I'll rattle through these because they are literally just buff, so you know they're not very exciting. One for Louise. Jordan made a lidded pot, which is hopefully the lid. Yeah, it's not attached itself. So little lidded jar there with a little lid that goes on. That's a really good fit actually. That looks lovely. Well done, Jordan. And another one for Heather. And another one for Sarah. Beautiful. Right. So, little jug for Jordan. You can put a cork in there, little vinegar pourer or something like that. Lovely. It's got a little lip on it. And then 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 big vases. So, number 1. Number 2. They're going to look great when they're glazed. I do quite a lot of vases, but they're always sort of quite a medium size. They're not really big vases that you can put a big bouquet in it. That's a nice huge one. And then that one. Beautiful. They're going to look fabulous. One more of those. A little bit of a fatter one. Lovely. And then lastly, a bit of a novelty. I made this. I don't know why. Just wanted to give it a go. My little snowman. So I put a candle in there and he'll light up or something. He will have a lid to go on the top, which will be a top hat. But that's a cute little snowman. So that's my bisque load. Yeah, pretty plain and simple because there's no glaze colours to show you or anything like that. But yeah, that's the first of 2 firings. All right, thanks for joining, guys. Thank you. I'll show you all these when they come out of the kiln and they're all lovely colours. So do tune in, subscribe, share, like and all that business. Comment if you want to as well. I'd love to hear your opinions. Thank you. Bye.